Thanks for coming back. I'm Jeff Burr with Tattooed Spirit. We're talking about the Six of Swords. Now, sixes almost always mean communication of some sort. I'm going to add cooperation and even gifts. To better understand the imagery and the deeper meanings behind this Six of Swords, we're going to look at the other sixes of the other suits. And yeah, we have one that we haven't talked about yet. We talked about the first wands, the basic communication of one bringing back that sense and the victories that was gained or sorted out from in the past, or going out in to get the inspiration, the shared communications of all those good things. Remember we talked about all the actions around sharing those wonderful actions with others. The actions of sharing actions, that's wonderful. This is who we haven't talked about that. This is another wonderful six about receiving gifts, receiving enough, you're going to be fine. Also, one character above the other two. This is one character above the other ones. And then this cup suit is one character above the other one, offering a beautiful gift, a beautiful, beautiful cup of good emotions and looking back into time. That was a good card, remember that? So, back to this image. Very, very difficult to comprehend because there's so many different conflicting imagery things going on here. You have this silent passage of sorts with the two people in the boat sort of keeping to themselves, having the weight of these thoughts, the weight of these mental activities, still doing the course, still making what? Still being okay. I mean, the boat is still staying afloat, partly because they are stuck. Those swords you can be looked at as blocking the holes that are already in that boat. There's more conflicting imagery with this card because all of the weight of those heavy swords aren't tilting the boat up towards it. They're not disturbing very much the structure of that passage thing that is the boat. You can kind of see like a huddle, like it's a cold night. That may be a little bit disconcerting to you, but it gives to me the idea that having all of these cognitive things going on and just kind of keeping yourself with it, how that idea of keeping to yourself, not speaking up about a particular situation or a thing that's on your mind, how that's still serving you because your boat is still, it's still making passage. It's still making you through life. This is a suggestion to just, it's okay to keep on going as you're going. But at some point, you're going to need to take those swords off, to unload, to look for the help that's helping you that you may not even recognize that is there. That person paddling with his wand, the one kind of doing the helping in your situation that you may not even be aware of because you're just so focused in keeping your mental activities to yourself. So there's a lot of different conflicts. The message, the loving support and suggestion and guidance of this card is to tell you how you're doing things now is fine, but long term, at some point, those swords need to be removed, shared with others, and the holes in your boat patched up. It's okay that they're blocking the water from coming in like this. It's just slowing you down, but it's keeping you afloat. This is a sign that it is beginning to be communicated to other people what's on your mind. Thoughts that are held in don't necessarily serve you. Whenever it's best shared, especially if you're being in a situation that is, well, number one, outwardly abusive to yourself. But just whenever you have something on your mind that you just feel like you should be sharing to other people, but you just don't. It's okay for a while. But if you want to speed up your boat, if you really want to get moving, you've got to get out those swords. It's going to cause a rift. It's going to cause a little bit of uncertainty, of course, maybe danger, of course. But get your boat patched up so that you make smooth sailing through your life. It's good because things are okay here. This is good because there's an opportunity for you to spill your beans a little bit. Get on and out what's on your mind. I kind of tend to talk in circles more than usual with this card because the more we talk about the divine dichotomy of how intermingled both meanings are, that whenever you have them in your situation of your spread, then you can pick out what part of this card is speaking to you the most. Sometimes it'll be the idea that those swords are poking holes. And the other cards may suggest just doing something about it. A lot of other wands in there are being overplayed. Do something about it. Use that fire to just patch the thing. So address the problems that you know that are slowing you down. You're very aware in this boat, with those around you even in a very similar situation, that there is a problem. You have swords in your boat slowing you down. It's support, it's guidance. Look at the other cards around you to speak for you. If it's true for you, your subconscious will let you know that it's actually ultimately safe to pull them out. Allow to be a little bit rocky, allow to be a little bit insecure. If there's any other fear, guilt, shames, guilts around that part of you that is afraid to share what you're carrying around with you, it is okay. Find the inspiration from those cards to give you the strength, to give you the fire to actually do something about it. All right. It's a mysterious card. You may want to look around at other places to kind of see what they have to say about it. One further note of how it's wonderful to look at tarot as a spiritual device, for like a diagnostic tool of the patterns in your life, and not just as a divination tool. What's going to happen to me whenever I pull this card? If you look up, actually I did look up before I started this video about what did the actual tarot book say, and it said passage by water. Okay, now I've seen this card speak to me on a deeper level of what I'm holding in that I should be sharing. And that has affected me, that has changed my life a lot more than me traveling by sea somewhere. I did that to Catalina once for a birthday party that ended up to be out of control, but that was the only time I've ever traveled by sea. I've seen this card many times for myself, and every time that I do, it reminds me of something that I should be saying to somebody. And I know it's going to cause pain. I know I just don't want to suffer from that. All right? It's a crazy card, and I hope it serves you as well as it has served me. I'll see you next for the wonderful 7 of Swords. That's going to tell you a lot too, so stay tuned.